Take a look at your feet. What are you wearing? Shoes, possibly? Sandals, running shoes, Crocs, or something more substantial, perhaps a pair of highly polished boots, Western boots, winkle pickers, who knows, because I can't see you. Shoes are a universe, and obviously there's something very important because we all have to wear them, and they've got all sorts of different aspects to them, shapes, styles, construction, colors, different materials, and so forth. Now, Prof and I usually focus on the upper man. We emphasize the upper man things, cloth, suits and jackets and what have you. But today, we're going to talk about shoes. Particular kinds of shoes. We're going to look at them and talk about what they are, what they're made of, what you can wear with them, and so forth. So hearken to the Prof and his views on this matter. And Prof, here we are. Yes, good.
How are you, Pete?
I'm very well, thank you. I'm very well, thank you. Yes. Yes.
Always good to see you.
So thank you. So we're about to hear words of wisdom from the Prof.
Okay.
And we're looking at a big pile of, well, not a pile, it's a carefully arranged set of shoes.
Yes.
Now, I thought we might want to start with a question. Some people out there might want to know about this. What is a dress shoe, Prof? Are these all dress shoes?
Well, these are all would be considered dress shoes in the sense that they are all shoes that are worn with suits.
Okay.
And when I look at these shoes, I didn't put this collection together. You guys did.
Yeah, that's
or the
right.
media
Yes,
team
yes,
did.
yes.
So I'm still not sure exactly what direction you're going to take us in, but I'm just a passenger on this bus,
Right.
as it were. But just looking at the cross section of the shoes sitting here, they're all Oxfords.
Right.
All of them Oxfords.
Except for these two here.
That is sort of is a Chelsea boot, which could also be dressed up. And there, of course, you have formal opera pumps. But
Right.
besides these two, everything else on this table would be considered an Oxford.
Right.
Or what you would call sort of an Oxford lace-up.
Right. There was a method to it, and I thought, yes, let's talk about dress shoes today.
First.
So what makes a dress shoe? These are dress shoes, obviously.
Correct.
So it's a bit heavy. Let's take a look at this one here, for example. Now, this is a black, is that an Oxford?
This is an Oxford. An Oxford these are all Oxfords. An Oxford is any shoe that has a closed lacing.
Ah, is it? Oh, I
So
see.
if you look
Okay.
there, you would see a lacing. On the contrary, I'm wearing a derby.
Right,
So
right.
if you look at my shoe,
I
if
can,
you look at my
yes.
foot, I'm wearing a derby. And the difference is that a derby is open-laced. You can see right
Right.
there. It's open-laced.
And these are all closed.
That's a derby. And an Oxford is closed-laced, meaning sort of the two facings merge at the bottom,
Right.
and they're closed. So they lace over
Yes.
each other like that. So
Yes.
that's, at least visually, aesthetically, that's a key difference between a derby and an Oxford.
Now, an Oxford is always a dress shoe.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Oxfords are, well, all Oxfords technically are dress shoes.
So what makes it a dress shoe? Is it just custom?
It's just convention. They all started, remember that these shoes, which we wear today, as we call Oxford or dress shoes, they started as Balmoral boots.
Right, right.
Back then, they were worn as boots. They were actually boots. Well, back then, men only wore boots when they dressed up with suits, right? Or sort of whatever the suit of du jour was at the time, whether it was the Edwardian period or the Victorian period or even sort of the Renaissance period. Men wore boots, dress boots.
Right.
And obviously for good reason, because the streets weren't tarred.
Right.
They were dusty, they were dirty, so you needed to wear boots to protect your feet from the elements. So with time, they got rid of the shaft, right? So we got rid of the shaft and they became sort of what in the military we call them half shoes. If you remember.
Yes, I do.
So we have two sets of shoes. We have our military boots, which are sort of like this.
That's right, yes.
Right? Our military boots are derby boots, which are sort of open-laced. We used to call them DMS boots.
Right.
I don't remember exactly what DMS means, but we used to call them DMS boots. And then for our dress uniform in the military, we wore what we call half shoes.
That's right. Yes.
And these half shoes were essentially Oxfords.
Yeah, they look a bit like that.
They were
yes.
exactly like this.
Yeah.
Not like they look like they were exactly like this. So they were called half shoes in the military. So again, the transition is that men used to wear boots, full boots with a shaft. A Balmoral boot.
This part here.
Exactly, that's the shaft.
Yes,
now,
yes.
a Balmoral boot is sort of structured. It has a closed lacing. So this is an open lace shoe. So you can see that's a derby. This is a closed lace shoe. So a Balmoral dress boots, which is what you wear with formal day wear, like your morning dress, it has a closed lace. So the Oxford today derives directly, is a direct descendant of the Balmoral boots.
It's a cut down Balmoral boot.
Yes, it's a half shoe. It's a half version of the Balmoral boot. So that is the history there. They started as Balmoral boots. And as sort of, streets were paved and there was no need to protect your feet from the element. And they were heavy, of course. So half shoes, which we now call Oxfords, are the standard dress shoe.
So even this is an Oxford, even though it doesn't have a cap on it.
It is. Anything that has a closed lacing is an Oxford.
Is an Oxford.
So there you can see the closed lacing is an Oxford. The difference between this and this is called a whole cut. As you can see, it's one piece of leather all around.
Right.
It's called a whole cut.
So it was made from one piece?
It was made from one piece. And the reason these are made, or sort of how these are worn, these are formal shoes.
Right.
So these are what you might wear if you don't necessarily want to go all the way and wear opera palms with your dinner clothes. You could wear these because they are austere. The idea behind clothes or sort of shoes are that the less decoration there is on the shoe, the more formal it is. So the less broguing, for instance, the less lines and stitches you have across it, the more formal it is. So for instance, if I took that shoe, which is a black cap toe, and if you hand me one of those,
and there's that one,
and that's a black cap toe, you can see that's called a perforated cap toe.
These little holes.
Exactly. So that's a broguing. It's called a perforated cap toe, whereas this is a plain cap toe. This will be considered more dressy
than this one.
Than this, just because it's got the perforation and the brogues on it.
Okay.
Similarly, when you look at something like this, that's even got more broguing on the toe.
Right.
So this is called, again, this is a brogue. This is called a half brogue.
Right.
So this is a half brogue because it's got sort of broguing all over it.
Yeah.
You can see the broguing all over it. But it's a closed lace shoe and it's a cap toe. But it would certainly be considered less formal than something like this, which has no broguing.
Or even possibly than this.
Well, this would be considered more dressy because it has less broguing. It's just a simple cap toe Oxford. So something like this would be, it's dressy, but it falls further into the casual spectrum.
Right, so like a semi-formal
Exactly,
shoe.
like a semi-formal shoe.
If we look at, for example, this pair here, this is, so as you said, this is your basic Oxford, right?
Well, this is your basic Oxford.
Oh, sorry, this is the most basic.
This is the most basic, something now, like this and this.
This is curious, and I would like to talk in a moment. So let's put that one down.
So this is your most basic kind of,
most basic
your
Oxford.
English almond toe.
Almond toe.
Almond toe Oxford. You can see this is as English and classic as it gets.
Right, okay.
Sort of your nice round almond toe, plain cap toe, no broguing, just sort of, simple stitching.
And from my days many years ago in military, these caps you spit polished. I don't know if you experienced that.
Of course.
Yes, whereas the rest of it you wouldn't.
You brush exactly.
Yeah, because it crumples here. But these caps.
Well, the reason really is because when you wear your dress trousers, Pete.
Yeah.
Okay. When you wear your military dress trousers, okay, they cover 2/3 of the shoe anyway, if you follow the rule of thirds. So your military trousers cover about 2/3 of the shoe, which leaves only the cap exposed. So during inspection, back then when I was in military, of course, the supervising officer or the inspecting officer would walk by.
That's right.
And with his hands on his back, and he would look at your shoes, and they had to be like all lined up, shining in a line. But all he could see was the cap of the shoe. Of course, he wasn't going to reach down to pull up your trousers to see the rest of the shoe. So it's a bit of a cheat code, as in sort of just brush up the rest of the shoe, just sort of kind of, run a rag over it to make it sort of look buff. But then you spent a lot of time spit shining.
I remember it well.
The cap toe
I
itself.
remember it well. And if you got it just wrong, you'd wreck what you'd already done.
And you have to start all over again.
Well,
Absolutely.
I was less fortunate because I wore a kilt. So all you had was a sock and a half shoe. So the sergeant, when he came around, could see the whole thing. Absolutely, yeah. So this is, as you said, it's as much of an Oxford as you can get. Although it does have this little decorative threading.
It does, but that is just sort of, I guess it's, it does have a function, I'm sure, because if you think about it, this is stitched on the inside, this is the facing. So it does have a function. It's not just that, it's slightly decorative, but it also has a function.
So you've got the cap here. So thinking of how they make the thing, you've got the cap, one piece, another piece here that goes all the way around and comes back up, and then it's stitched. And
actually, this is a double piece because the shoe, the leather, it goes all through the cap is stitched on top of it. Exactly.
Oh, interesting.
Exactly. That's why this is thicker than this.
Yes.
Because this is a double layer.
There you go. You can see that there, can't you? So when they talk about leather uppers, this is the upper of the shoe.
Absolutely. Okay. And then obviously the bottom
and then
is
you've got
leather
the sole,
as well.
Yep. And you've got a leather sole, and you have a little metal cap here.
Yes, these are what you call toe taps.
Yeah.
Metal toe taps, and they just protect the toe from getting sort of scuffed when you walk
otherwise
on
they
the
will.
pavement.
Which otherwise they will.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Now, people complain very often about their office shoes, that they pinch or something like that. What is it that makes a shoe comfortable or uncomfortable? Is it the way it's made up like this, or is it that it's just too narrow or too short, or is it something in the construction?
Well, what makes a shoe comfortable is getting it properly sized.
It's just that.
Yeah, it doesn't matter how well the shoe is made, or the quality of leather. It could be alpaca skin. It could be baby goat. Could be the softest leather. But if you're missized, then it's going to be uncomfortable.
Sure.
So I think the mistake a lot of gentlemen make is that they have their shoes improperly sized, and then they complain that dress shoes hurt their feet because you don't have the right size.
Yeah, there you go. Now, this you said is an almond
almond toe.
Almond toe. This is interesting because this is very similar to this one.
Right.
It's also an Oxford, but this has a square.
It's called sort of a chisel toe.
Chisel toe, because it looks like a chisel. Yes.
Right.
Otherwise, it's virtually identical.
An Oxford, exactly.
But this one has little nails in the toe instead of the metal tap.
Instead of the metal tap.
Yes, and then you've got a slightly sloping heel here.
It's called a Cuban heel.
A Cuban heel. Yeah, I thought it might be. So either of these with your suit for the office.
Absolutely.
So, for example,
a navy suit or a navy trousers.
This bird's eye, navy bird's eye, would go well with either of these, I take
Absolutely.
it. Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay. Great. And when they make these, I guess what they've done is they've stretched the leather underneath. So if you ripped the sole off, you'd see a piece going underneath the sole, and then that's where they've welted it on.
That's the welting. So that shoe you currently have in your hands are hand welted.
Hand welted. Well, you can see the stitching, the very heavy stitching there.
Correct.
Along the side, and you can see that there are two soles essentially to it. You see, there's an upper piece And I think 3, upper piece and middle piece.
Yeah,
and
I mean,
piece.
I couldn't speak to the construction because I wouldn't sort of hold myself out to be an expert in shoemaking. But that shoe is, for instance, this is hand welted and this is Goodyear welted.
Ah, okay. So this is hand welted.
This is hand welted, this is Goodyear welted. So this is a pair of Edward Greens and that's a pair of St. Christins.
Now, how do we see the difference between the hand and the Goodyear?
Well, it's kind of, I couldn't, visually, I don't think you can tell the difference visually. Because, I mean, this is also very beautiful. You can see the welting just very even and very nicely done.
Yes.
So I don't think visually, at least I couldn't tell visually the difference between, a hand welted shoe and unless you opened it up, of course. But
Heck
again,
of a
like
job.
I said, I'm not a shoe expert.
Well, you can see where
I'm not a shoe technician.
The stitching isn't quite the same. And obviously, if you're doing it by hand, as you said with
as
this
you can
one,
see, with the machine, you can see it's very even. You can see that. This is Goodyear welted. It's sort of welted by a machine. You can see how even it is.
Yes.
Now, you pick up one of these hand welted ones. You can see it's not quite as even, and they're a little bit further spaced apart.
But you need a very large needle.
Well, I mean, they do have machines.
That's hard work.
They do have. I mean, they do have the way of doing it.
Yeah, it's awfully hard work to drive a needle through that.
It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work.
So you've got a little bit of decoration on this one. Obviously less, and just a tiny bit on these. But then when you get down, for example, to these, as you said, you've got a lot of decoration. Now, this is what you called a full or a half brogue?
Would be, I guess that would be a quarter brogue, right?
Okay.
And this would be a half brogue. So these are very similar.
Except
the only
this
difference
one
is that
has
this has the broguing on the toe and this doesn't.
And this is just, they just take a punch.
These are just punchings.
Right.
These are just what you call broguing. So these two shoes are very similar, except that one has the broguing on the toe. And so this will be considered less formal or more casual than that one. So I think they would call this a half brogue and that a quarter brogue.
Now, is there any reason for putting brogue on your shoes?
It's just decoration. It's really just sort of aesthetics, just decoration.
Just art. See, okay. So could you...
I mean, back in the day, if you remember, when brogues were actually functional, the whole point of having brogues on your wingtips, back then they had these brogues on sort of, and they started calling them brogues, really. But with, some of them were wingtips.
Americans tend to call them wingtips.
From what I understand is that back then when they would go hunting in the moors, right, and they would get into the swamps, they would make these holes in the shoes so that the moisture could get out of the shoe.
Oh, so they were real holes.
They were real holes.
They
were real holes. The broguing sort of on the shoes, they were made so that after you're done hunting in the swamps, the water or the moisture or the sort of what do you call it?
The water.
Water can get out of the holes allowed them to get out of the shoes, so they weren't trapped in your shoes. And that's why the broguings were made on those hunting shoes, which we now call wingtips.
And we're just now purely decorative because they don't go through the shoe.
Exactly. So now they're just what you might call imitation, imitation broguing.
So if this is half brogue, this is more brogued. This is a half brogue. This is less, and this is even less brogued than this one.
About the
only
same.
Got a piece.
About the same. It's just a different, just a different design. But I would probably call it a half brogue as well.
Now, is there any reason that you decided one day that you wanted to have shoes with this kind of brogue line on it compared to these?
No, I mean, every shoe designer has their different models and designs. A lot of these shoes are custom made. So, I had the option of sitting down with the creator of the shoes, in this case, St. Crispin's, and sort of look at their design library. And then, the good thing about them is that you can actually sort of modify their designs. So it's sort of like a bespoke, it's kind of, basically sort of bespoke in a sense that you're able to alter some of the designs, right? You can sort of change the broguing, the shape of it, and so on and so forth. besides the fact, of course, that the shoes are made for your feet.
Yeah, yeah.
So these are custom made. They're not bespoke in the real sense of the, sort of traditional bespoke shoemaking.
Right, right.
But they are made to your specifications.
Right.
For instance, I have plantar fasciitis. I have flat feet. So the shoes are made obviously to my specifications. My feet were measured. Of course, my feet were measured. A trial shoe was made.
Okay.
Very similar to.
So they carved a last.
They did create a last. They did create a last for me. Okay. Or they took a standard last. What they have is a standard last. And then they look at your feet, right? And they look at the anomalies on your feet, and they modify the standard last.
Like made to measure.
Exactly. So for instance, if you took a last looks like this, it's a piece of wood.
Yeah, it is.
But I'm gonna take this here. So a last looks like this. Okay, it's a piece of wood. It's a solid block of wood.
Yeah,
that's right. In this case, right? So this is sort of hollow. This is a shoe tree. But my personal last at the manufacturer looks like this, a solid block. And what happens is that they take a standard last. So let's say you've got bunions, right? Or let's say you've got sort of protruding, your bones here. Yeah. They now sort of add like some plaster here.
Okay.
They add like a little kind of like plaster here. Or let's say you've got sort of bunions on your toes. They add plaster on top of it,
to get the size,
to sort of to accommodate for your, So it's sort of bespoke, but sort of it's not like creating a whole wooden
carving
a whole new last. But they take a standard last and they look at your feet, look at the anomalies, and they modify that last to sort of to meet all or to suit or accommodate all the imperfections on your foot.
So they measure your foot,
of course,
by drawing around the foot.
They measure your foot, everything, and then they create this last. They modify the standard last with all the imperfections on your foot, and then they make you a test shoe.
Right. And what's it made of? The test.
It's made of leather.
Oh, okay.
It's made of real leather, but cheap leather.
It's like a test of fit.
It's like a throwaway leather, exactly. So they make you a test shoe, send it to you. You try the shoes on, and they keep doing it until sort of the shoes feel comfortable before they go to the final production. And then in my case, for instance, I have also plantar fasciitis. So, for instance, things like the arch is super reinforced.
Right. I noticed that on one of
some
these,
of the shoes. It's really very.
Here, it's got you can feel there's a curve there.
Right there, you can see. You can feel it's very hard.
Yeah, there's a curve there. Yeah, and then you can see the material's been shaped a bit different.
And also it's very hard here.
Yes, it is.
So because if you have falling feet, you need sort of the support to hold your feet up.
Okay.
So all these shoes, all my custom shoes from the same maker, they have super reinforced arches to keep the arch from falling down, and also beneath here. So it's not just sort of making the changes on the last to accommodate your foot anomalies, but also things like if you have flat feet, they can correct for it by adding an arch here. Yes. Not only that, but also things like this. If you look inside, you can see a hump.
Yeah, you can.
You can see a hump right there.
Yes, you can.
So you can see this hump in all my shoes. And the reason this hump is when you have flat feet, this hump, it lifts your foot up. So if you think about it, when you have flat feet like this, your feet are falling down.
Yeah.
So to correct this, you have to do two things, okay? You have to do two things. One, you have to lift the foot. Right. So this lifts the foot.
Okay.
This piece right here, it lifts the foot right here under the palm of the foot. So rather than your foot laying flat, it pulls it up, and then the reinforcement on the arch on this side pushes your leg over. Right. So rather than your foot collapsing like that, it lifts it up, and then it holds it where and
holds it in its position.
Exactly, and puts it in the normal position which a foot should be. So in a sense, yes, it is. It is bespoke. It is fully custom, but without creating, as it were, a whole new block.
Yeah. So route marching must have been a bit of a strain if you have flat feet.
Oh, it was. But, I mean, I was younger in the military, so it wasn't so much of an issue.
Right,
but as you get older, as you know, these things tend to show themselves up.
Yes, they do. I think the thing is that obviously in the past, men spent a lot of time on their feet. And I don't just mean policemen or waiters, but you walked everywhere and you were up and about. People spend less time on their feet now, so possibly that part of shoemaking isn't quite such an issue as it might have been. We'll be back in a moment after a word from our sponsor. Are you the best dressed man in the room wherever you go? If not, why not? It's not that difficult. AskOkey makes bespoke suits, jackets, trousers, and other garments for discerning men all over the world. So next time you look around and feel that you're not quite presentable, give us a call, send us a mail, or send us a direct message on the social media channels, and we'll kit you up to look like a king. Bye for now. Welcome back. We're talking about shoes, and Prof is just telling us all about flat feet, which may be something useful for some of you. Because people don't walk nearly as much. So the idea that you'd need to have shoes like what you're talking about is possibly not such a deal now as it used to be. But still, obviously, your feet are essential. You live on your feet. So obviously, you have to take care of them, and shoes is one of the ways you take care of them. But it's interesting what you say, though, about sizing, because sometimes a maker he'll say, oh, I have wide sizes. And presumably, so you look at size 9 wide or a size 9 narrow. So I guess the shoe companies try to accommodate as much as they can the different shapes of feet. But just on these different styles here, we've had brogues of various sorts. Now, this is an Oxford. This is sort of similar. In fact, I reckon it's exactly the same
shoe. It's the
but
same
it's in
model.
brown.
It's called the Chelsea.
The Chelsea.
That's the Edward Green Chelsea, which is sort of this is probably their best-selling shoe because everyone needs, a pair of Oxfords for the office.
Well, that's it. Every man needs at least one pair of Oxfords.
That's their best-selling shoe, and probably they've sold that shoe for well over 100 years.
Yeah. Because you can't go wrong, can you?
No, I mean, it is, it lasts forever. You buy the same pair and you just keep it forever.
Now, so we had brogues, we had black Oxfords here, we've got red and sort of reddish-brown Oxfords. We'll talk about the color in a moment. We've got very dark brown Oxfords over here. Now, these are what?
These are what you call Chelsea boots.
These are Chelsea boots.
Some call them Beatle boots.
Well, I was
named after the Beatles, of course.
Yeah, I was looking at these because I remember back in many years ago, these had very sharp points on them. These are more what you'd call respectable Chelsea boots, as opposed to the really pointed ones.
You could make them pointy. Some make them with a squarish toe. I mean,
yes.
The toe is a question of preference. It's a question of taste. But of course, it's called a Chelsea shoe just because it's one piece of leather, as you can see.
It's a whole cut,
it's a
like
whole
these
cut,
shoes
exactly,
here.
but in a boot form, and then you slip it on. With that. Back there, it doesn't have any lace.
And it's got elastic sides.
Exactly, it's got elastic sides to secure the foot.
Very old design.
Yeah, they've been around.
It's been around for a long time. Huh? And are these dress shoes in that sense?
Well,
can you wear them with a suit?
Yes. There are those who would wear them. I mean, not with a boardroom suit, but I mean, you could get away with sort of, if you wanted to wear with a dark suit in the evening. Actually, it looks very dressy, very classy.
Well, as you said, the less decoration that it has, like those. And this has no decoration.
Well, I wouldn't wear with a tuxedo.
No.
Certainly not. But if you were to go out in the evening, you wanted to sort of wear a smart, dark evening suit, like a midnight suit, and just something a bit more dressy. So it doesn't look like you're just coming from the office.
Well, I know this is the one trouble with these.
Yeah, this is an office shoe.
They say work, don't they?
Yeah. So when you see someone wearing this after 6 in the evening, you know he just came from the office. But something like this you could wear in the evening with a dark evening suit, with a beautiful midnight suit, and it wouldn't look as though you just sort of, escaped from the office. So that you can dress up in that sense.
Yeah.
You can also dress it down.
Okay.
They're very versatile. Chelsea boots are very versatile, especially when done in other colors, such as these are very popular also in brown suede.
Right, okay.
So there's a company in Australia called R.M. Williams.
Yes.
And that is sort of their bread and butter. And as you know, sort of in the Australian outbacks,
right.
They wear these for whatever, kangaroo hunting, whatever it is they do out there, the rugged outback. So they usually have them done in either brown suede or let's say sort of a hard skin, like some even do them in Crocs, like Croc skin.
Wow.
So they're very popular with the Aussies and can be done in a variety of skins and colors.
So if they were in brown suede, they would be a casual.
They would be casual. You could wear them with your jeans, with your chinos, and all sorts of things. But in black they are a classic. Classic because you can dress them up, obviously, with a suit. You can also dress it down slightly. For instance, you can wear this with a pair of jeans.
I was going to say...
You can wear this with a pair of jeans, a white shirt, and a sport coat, and a blazer, and it just looks really, really smart.
Well, that's what we used to do. When I was, I suppose, a teenager, we had these, and as I said, they were very, very, very pointed, and we used to wear them with pretty well anything. I mean, we didn't think of them as particularly formal or not. And then you have these, which are the famous opera pumps with this dainty little ribbon. And I notice it's a made-up ribbon, so you don't have to tie it each time.
Yes, it's a bow. I think that's made of
gross grain.
Grogan.
Grogan.
I said gross grain some time ago, and I almost got crucified.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
But it's Grogan. I think that's the way it's pronounced. So it's made of gros grain, and this is the same fabric you have on the lapel.
That's right.
Of your tuxedo or your dinner jacket. So,
in fact, we've got one, I think, right here. Yes,
that's the dinner jacket.
My Lord,
it's heavy.
I was going to say your suits are a real weight, and so that's what you're looking at there.
That's what you're looking at,
and that's the facing
gros grain
material there. Everybody, take a good look.
Exactly, you can see the fabric is just exactly the same fabric used on the shoe.
And then they look very smart with the trousers, which have the satin
same,
or the gross grain stripe. The gros grain stripe. Yes,
running down the
side. And this I fancy is midnight.
This is midnight.
Almost black.
Yes.
But this is what you wear really only with...
That's it. Or with a dinner jacket. Could be a dinner suit, or it could be sort of a dinner jacket could be a velvet dinner jacket or a jacquard dinner jacket.
But those black trousers, pretty much, you would have to.
Correct.
We've got, as we said, all of these. These black shoes here really are strictly...
office shoes.
Strictly business, strictly office shoes.
These three would strictly be office shoes.
Yeah.
This you could sort of, you could venture into the office, but again, it's very dressy.
Yes.
If you had only one pair of shoes, or the option of one pair of black shoes, I can see how you could use this to do double duty for both dress and office wear. But if you had the choice, this is the proper this is the sine qua non, as they would say, for the office shoe. A simple black pair of plain cap toe Oxford. Simple, no broguing, just sort of honest to God.
Yes, and you can wear those with, for example, you could wear those very well with this bird's eye, or for example with
a
grey suit. And in fact,
with a grey suit,
it's just that is really standard, isn't it?
Absolutely.
So there you go. Absolutely. So if you have a grey twill suit like this,
or navy.
Now, if you were wearing these greys with, say, a blazer, would you wear these?
Absolutely.
Okay.
If I would wear this with a navy blazer, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay.
That's pretty standard fare. If you're going to wear a blazer, let's say you don't want to wear a suit, I would wear this with a navy blazer and a white shirt and a very conservative tie, and that's just as classic as it gets.
Well, that's almost a suit.
Yes.
Yeah, almost a suit.
Yes.
Okay. Now, these obviously the office stuff in the front and then the evening. These are not office.
No.
So what could we do with these?
Well, I wouldn't say they're not office, but they wouldn't be sort of, let's say, if you wanted to sort of be a bit more, let's say, you know, it could be one to the office, but not the most serious. Not for a board meeting or so. If you grab that Prince of Wales suit,
I was just going to say
exactly
maybe the Prince of Wales.
So this is beautiful. This is just a lovely combination.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? Yes.
Because it's a casual fabric.
Yeah.
I mean, not casual as in casual, but it's a less formal fabric.
Sure it is. Yeah.
So you're not going to wear this to the boardroom, but let's say on a Friday and you wanted to sort of introduce a little bit of flair. You could wear this Prince of Wales with something like this.
Yes, you could.
With a little bit of brogue into it.
Well, it's a nice, I was going to say, for some reason, or a darker
like
brown
this,
and a plainer shoe.
Exactly.
I was going to say, it's a very nice contrast, isn't it?
Yes.
So you could wear this Prince of Wales with that
absolutely.
shoe.
Absolutely.
And I guess these grey twill also with that color.
I could attempt it with a blazer. Yes.
Yeah.
You know, as I always say, burgundy and black are the only shoes I would wear with gray or navy.
Right. So these as well.
So burgundy, exactly. Burgundy.
There we go.
With a navy blazer and a white shirt, to me, fine. To me, works.
Yeah.
Okay, that works for me.
Yes, indeed. Yes.
The darker, the better.
Right. Okay.
So the lighter colors, you know, sort of the lighter burgundies are reserved for like lighter gray suits.
Got it.
So like the Prince of Wales, of course, you had up there.
So
something like that is a lighter gray. So I would probably go for sort of the. I would go for.
Or
sort
maybe
of
this one.
Exactly, this lighter burgundy.
Light brown one, yes,
Exactly.
or light burgundy.
Yes.
Now this one here, this seersucker suit, would this go with any of these shoes on this table?
I mean, you could technically wear it with a black shoe. I mean, back in the South, down in the South, the Southern lawyers, when they want to dress this up for the courtroom, they always go with either a black pair of shoes.
Right.
And if you want to dress it down, you could wear it with spectators, which are also which are also these are also dress shoes.
They are Oxfords.
They're Oxfords.
They're
because
Oxford
they're
spectators.
shoes.
That's right. Yes.
So you could wear this, you know, for more casual, let's say, sort of a bit more like a more festive outing on the weekend or something of that nature. Or if you're a true country lawyer, I guess you could wear this to court. Let's say
I wonder, but what about, for example, with this one?
I probably could do that as well.
Right.
The lighter burgundies, yes, I could sort of see going with something like it because it's a light summer suit.
It is. It is. I was just wondering if this is
or the ideal for me. The ideal shoe for that would be something like this, like a light tan.
Okay. The tan derby
or dirty box.
Right. Sure.
Dirty box, which I don't own any, but that would be the perfect perfect shoe for that.
You get the contrast here with you get a nice contrast there, possibly a bit too much of a contrast, considering how light it is. Okay. And then this tan one, this, I take it, could also go with these lighter burgundies, or is it too...
Possibly, but I would probably stick with the brown for that.
Okay, there we are, yes.
I would probably stick with the brown.
So you've got a nice dark and light brown.
Or even sort of a darker brown.
Right, okay.
Sort of the browns work with this tan.
Yeah.
But obviously sort of the beautiful, or a lighter tan could work.
That one again,
right?
Yes.
But this would look absolutely gorgeous.
Oh, it would.
Beautiful.
Yes, it would. Yeah. So this is really a casual suit.
Oh, that's a casual suit. That's a casual summer suit.
Yes.
For sure.
So if you want to be on the safe side, you start with these blacks, then you get into your brown dress shoes. If you want to be really restrained, you've got a basic brown. And then if you want to push the boat out a bit, you've got these others.
The Brogues.
What do you call, is this the same as this? This is a chisel.
It is the same. It is the same chisel toe.
Now, what makes you like chisel toes?
It's not that I like them, but these are made by George Cleverly.
Yeah.
And this is their signature.
Ah, okay.
So George Cleverly, there are a few shoemakers. They're an English shoemaker, and this is sort of their signature is the chisel toe.
Right.
And I just wanted to experiment with them.
Sure.
A couple of other shoemakers like Gaziano and Girling, even Edward Green makes some chisel toes. But
Yes.
the original chisel toes, not that they invented it, but George Cleverly made these very popular. And if you think of chisel toe, the first thing that comes to mind is George Cleverly.
Okay. Vass also makes chisel toes, I think.
Well, everybody makes them now.
Okay. But he's the original.
I wouldn't say he's the original. It's just they made it their signature. You know, they made it their signature. So when you think Cleverly, you know, you think, I'm sure they make round toe shoes as well.
Oh, they
but
must
if you
be,
think,
yes.
you know, if you think anything chisel toe, right away, you know, Cleverly comes to mind. You can see.
There we are, even on the
the
tree.
the tree.
That's a beautiful piece, isn't it? Look at that, it's different colors.
It's a piece of art.
Yeah. And that's wood.
Yes, it's lacquered.
Paint lacquered wood.
Lacquered wood.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you've got a choice of, again, staying in the very conservative, really quite conservative realm here. You've got a choice between the almond cap toe and the chisel toe. And I don't think you really want to get too more radical than the chisel.
These, yeah.
You know, you're still very much within the range.
I mean, you could do a few things. For instance, Pete, if you grab the suede Oxfords over there, if you wanted to sort of do something a bit more fun, but sort of stay within the realm of Oxfords, you could also have them made in suede, like this, or something like this. If you hold this up, so these are two casual options for Oxfords. They're still Oxfords. As you can see, they're close-laced.
Yes.
They're close-laced. They're still both Oxfords. But if you feel that if you're not sort of if you're not part of the blue and gray army or the navy and gray army, the bankers and so on and so forth. Let's say you are an artist or someone in the arts, but you still want to wear a suit, right? So you could still wear them with Oxfords that are a bit more casual.
You could.
Because of either design
or
indeed. Skin. So this is all mink suede. This is sort of combination of buckskin and leather, a spectator.
Interesting.
You know, that's an option to explore if you want to have a little bit more fun than what we have right here on the table.
But you know, when we talk about, people ask us on the media, they ask us, you know, what should I have for my first suit, and we always tell them the navy or the gray.
Yeah.
So if they're saying, well, what should I have for my first shoes? Well, those, and then possibly followed by these. I don't mean very first shoes, but my first, if you've just got a job or something of that kind. Now, all of these are obviously made of leather. What kind of leather are they made of?
Calf. This is
it's all calf.
Everything on here is made from calf.
Right.
Of course, calf is pretty standard, and then suedes, in this case, that's a suede. It's made from reverse calf.
Oh, so it's all calf skin.
So it's all calf skin. Okay. Suede, or like the brown one over there, anything in suede is made of reverse calf. Now, of course, you could, you know, go into other, for instance, if you are into boots, for instance, you could look at something like this is made of some kind of buffalo.
Right. Wow.
Buffalo hide, because again, it needs to be a bit more sturdy, because you know these are boots that you used to walk in the woods. So
but for dress shoes, it's calf.
Basic dress shoes are made with fine calf. Again, the rule of thumb here is like the smoother the shoe, the more it is to be worn with a suit.
Okay.
So say for instance here you have derbies. Okay.
Right.
You have shoes. These are grained shoes. You can see the graining.
You call these grained shoes.
Right. The grained shoes. The leather that is grained is sort of informal.
Yeah.
So you know, the more grained or the more texture the shoe has to it, whether it's a suede shoe. In this case, we have these boots that are also grained.
Right.
You can see the grain, or if it's suede, any shoe that has a little bit of texture to it. Or these chuka boots, okay?
Right.
Again, this is made in suede.
Yes.
So anything that has a bit of texture to it signifies it as less formal or less dressy.
And we've got to extend that by saying that anything this provides a sort of texture. So
I suppose
anything
so.
that has decoration on it is less dressy.
So the smoother the shoe, whether it's the composition of the skin itself or the design on it, the smoother the shoe, the more formal or the more dressy it is.
Amazing.
So every shoe worn with a suit, right? Every dress shoe worn with a suit should be made of plain, simple,
smooth calf. Yes.
Exactly.
And so the shoemakers, they must be. I mean, they buy sheets of leather, and then it's bought. When they buy it, it's already treated.
Well, they buy it from a tannery. So there are tanneries that make these in the shoemakers themselves. Some of them own tanneries. So some of them are vertically integrated and they own their own tanneries. Some don't. Some just buy sort of the finished leather. But obviously they buy them in sort of rolls and stretches. I'm not sure what they call. It would be the equivalent of buying a bolt
of fabric,
cloth.
Yes.
And then obviously the shoes are sort of like carved.
Yes.
You know, the shoes are carved out of sort of, you know, again, they choose the finer part of the cow. So if you want to know the difference between, you know, a $2,000, $3,000 shoe and a $200 shoe. You know, the $200,000-$300,000 shoe, those shoes in that range, like Edward Green, the upper shoes, they buy only the finest part of the cow.
And what is the finest part?
For instance, the hump. Right?
Yes.
There are parts of the cow that are noted to have perfect leather without imperfections.
Yes.
So there are parts of the cows that, you know, maybe the cow sits on the ground or what have you, that sort of usually it's skirmished.
Right.
So the finest shoemakers in the world, the top shoemakers, they buy just the finest part of the cow, and then they throw everything else away. They make their shoes only out of the finest part of the cow. So for the cheaper leather you would see, or sort of for the cheaper shoes, they're kind of like discarded. Sometimes they're discarded parts of the cow that the manufacturers use,
like the legs or something,
because because it's cheap.
Sure.
But if you look at like all the top shoemakers, Edward Green, Berluti, St. Crispin, and, you know, name it, right? All the top shoemakers, they only use the finest and the smoothest part of the cow to make the shoes.
So if you think of, I mean, a cow's fairly large, but in fact there may be only just a small piece
of it that you can actually use to make quality shoes.
You might get two pairs out of one cow or something.
I mean, maybe more than two pair, but not a whole lot.
Really?
Right. So out of a whole cow, you may be surprised if you really kind of go for the choice parts of the cow. You know, you may get maybe 4 pair of shoes.
Wow.
3, 4 maybe. You know, out of a whole cow.
So some real high-class cows sacrifice their lives for Proff's shoe collection. Now, I noticed that even though they're all calf, the leather is a little bit different. It feels a little bit different, doesn't it? This one, for example, has a little sort of pattern to it, whereas this one doesn't quite have the same. That's just the effect of the tanning, I guess?
It sometimes it's just the way the leather is treated.
Okay.
It also could be that it's also moisturizing, so maybe that shoe needs to be lit a little bit more, sort of moisture, because when you put a conditioner on it, you know, basically leather dries out because it's an organic. It's an organic material, so it dries out. So you have to constantly sort of put a conditioner on it to keep the leather supple and soft.
So you put a sort of cream on it.
Yes.
Now, do you put anything on the inside as well as the outside?
No, just the outside. You just sort of you make sure you sort of frequently put shoe cream on it, or call it, you know, conditioner.
And
which is different from the wax or polish.
Sure. Actually, polish ruins shoes. That kiwi polish with alcohol in it.
Well, it dries it out. It's kind of like topping, but before you put the polish on, it's a good practice to make sure you have your shoes conditioned. Cream or condition it frequently, as frequently as sort of, you know, once a month at least.
Wow, that often. Okay.
So otherwise, the leather dries up.
Yeah, it does. It does, and it gets cracks in it. Just before we finish, because we're almost run out of time, how long is one of these pairs of shoes going to last? Say you wear it once a week. and you put cream on it and you polish it.
Yeah, I mean, these shoes will last. I mean, I'll probably pass the shoes down to my grandchildren. No question about it. Because, I mean, for instance, that one is by Green. I've had it resoled once. It looks brand new.
It does. It does.
But I've had it resoled. I had to send it to the factory.
Interesting.
And when they resole it, when the shoe is resoled, right, basically they kind of touch the shoe up and it comes back looking brand new. So provided you care for the upper by making sure it's probably moisturized and you just don't abuse it, these shoes can last 3, 4, 5 generations. I mean, these shoes definitely, unless my sons abuse them, when I passed them on to them, actually my older son inherited, I had 2 pair of these, right? 2 exact.
That's right. He got a pair.
Exactly. I had 2 exact pair like this, and he inherited a pair, which he has with him at the university now. And those shoes, if he cares for them, they will last him a lifetime.
Great. That's all we've got time for. When we come back next time, we'll be talking about casual shoes as opposed to dress shoes. And we'll probably come back to some of these because there's still a lot more to learn about this part of the collection. Thank you all very much. Pleasure being with you, and we look forward to being with you next time. Prof, thank you.
Thank you.
Always a pleasure. Always a pleasure.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye for now.